Hello everyone. Glad you could join us again. We're so glad you came to watch another movie. If you like our posts and think they're useful, please like and follow. Your help is very important for our channel to grow and reach more people who could benefit from the things we talk about. Now let's get to the point of this movie. I want to talk about a specific case where the narcissist wasn't hoovering out of shame. This is a unique and important thing to think about, and I'd like to give you some ideas about how this situation will go. A lot of people wonder, why hasn't the narcissist tried to hoover me? It's been so long since I last heard from them. What's the reason? I'll explain them in this video. It's important to know that narcissists don't always hoover, because they've found a new source of pleasure. In general, narcissists get their emotional needs met from a variety of sources. However, when they feel shame, the dynamics change greatly. When a narcissist feels shame, it drives them crazy. In a lot of ways, it's their weak spot. They often do a lot to avoid feeling shame, because it hurts their inflated sense of self-worth and power. People who are narcissists are very uncomfortable when they feel shamed, especially during or right after a discard. This shame can come from a number of sources, such as being caught in their behavior, understanding how their actions affected other people, or having to deal with the results of their manipulative behavior. The weight of shame can be so great at these times that it keeps them from reaching out. Because of this, the narcissist might not talk to you during these times. This silence doesn't always mean they're not interested or aren't keeping an eye on you. They may even be watching you from afar, keeping an eye on your life and the people you associate with. But the shame they feel can stop them in their tracks. They might think that trying to get back in touch would only make things worse for them. Understanding that narcissists often need a lot of approval to boost their self-esteem after feeling ashamed is very important. They might not feel ready to talk to you until they've found someone else who can make them feel better, tell them they're valuable, and boost their ego. This new supply works as a safety net, giving them time to rebuild their confidence before they even think about getting in touch with you again. Narcissists usually hoover when they are not ashamed, which means that something important has happened. There's a good chance that many of you broke during the devaluation and trash phase. Like most narcissists, the person tried to control and influence you, but this time you fought back. You didn't just keep quiet. You often reacted to what they did in ways they didn't expect. In many cases, you may have even told other people about their misbehavior. This act of showing how they behave is very important. You not only told them about their problems, but you also gave proof. These receipts can be anything from text messages, emails, or even statements from people who saw the narcissist do bad things. This proof is strong and changes the rules. Some people may choose to stay loyal to the narcissist, but their bad behavior can't be ignored now that you've shown it. People have seen the truth about what they did because of you. The narcissist's carefully created image takes a big hit from this. They care a lot about keeping up a perfect front, and they will do anything to protect their image and how other people see them. When you put a narcissist on display in public, they were not expecting it. They are usually the ones who drive other people crazy and control them, so they can't imagine how someone could do the opposite. This out-of-the-blue response from you can make people feel terrible shame. They might feel weak and open, which are emotions they try very hard to avoid. If you shame them in this way, the narcissist probably won't reach out to you again anytime soon. Sometimes their shame is so strong that they may stay away from you for a long time or never come back at all. They might even decide not to care about you at all and put you on their never again list. It is important to know that shame can make a narcissist unable to do anything. They might get stuck in their bad feelings, which makes them avoid things that remind them of how bad they are. This could be a big reason why they haven't been getting in touch with you. Also, if a narcissist does come back, it will probably be after they have found another way to get what they need. They need to find a new source of supply who can help them boost their ego and give them the approval they need. They won't even think about getting in touch with you until they feel properly confident again. You get ahead of a narcissist in a relationship by beating them to the punch during the devaluation and discard stages. In other words, you start to belittle the narcissist while they are devaluing you. You agreed with what we said about how the narcissist might start acting out and being manipulative in the first situation. You do something more aggressive in this second situation, though. The narcissist is trying to make you feel less important and less confident by devaluing you. But you know what they're doing and choose to talk to them about it. You start to show them their flaws, tell them they're wrong, and stand up for yourself. You not only question them verbally, but you also take a big step by deciding to be in charge of the relationship. When you leave, you don't just leave, you leave in a strong way. You block them on all social media sites, stop talking to them, and get rid of all traces of them in your life. It can be very strong to leave without saying goodbye or giving a reason. It can have a big effect on how you get rid of the narcissist. One example is that you could ghost them and leave them wondering what happened. You could have also taken all of your things out of their space while they were away. Or you could have thrown away their things in a way that made it clear that you didn't value them. This behavior could be seen as a direct threat to their sense of being in charge and better than others. When you treat a narcissist badly, during the devaluation and discard stages, it can have a big effect on them. They have been in charge before, so they are not used to being treated this way. It changes the story if you can get rid of them, before they can get rid of you. For the narcissist, this unexpected reaction can make them feel very ashamed. The narcissist will need time to think about what just happened after this kind of meeting. I'm not saying they'll never try to get in touch with you again, but you can be sure they won't be after you anytime soon. They feel terrible shame because they have to tell their friends and family why you are no longer in their lives. They may have already started a campaign to make you look like you're crazy, even though they are trying to act like they are better than you. The uncomfortable part is that they now have to explain your departure. It might be hard for them to explain what happened, because it's easier for them to say that they dumped you than to say that you left them first. For them, this switch of roles makes them feel bad, because it breaks down their story of being in charge. If you broke up with the narcissist in a rude way, they probably won't even think about getting in touch with you again for a long time. When you stand up to them and put them down in return, you are doing the same thing they do, showing them that you are aware of their tricks and that you will not be a target. You are acting like a mirror to their actions. If narcissists come back, it's likely because they have found someone else to feed their ego and sense of self-worth. Until then, they might keep quiet while they think about how your actions have affected them and how weak they are. Now let's talk about another time when you might need to shame a narcissist. When you point out their bad behavior during the love bombing stage, or just before the devaluation phase starts. Imagine that you have been paying close attention to the narcissist. You can tell they're trying to impress you by giving you lots of love and attention, which is also known as love bombing. But you see that their deeds and words don't always match up. You could say something like, "Listen, I've been watching you and I've seen that you're doing this and that." By telling them what they're doing wrong, you're taking a big step that could lead to a strong response. Narcissists may be shocked when you approach them when they are trying to charm you and tell you everything you want to hear. You are directly questioning their lie if you say, "I don't believe the lies you're telling me," or "I've noticed that some of your stories don't add up." For a narcissist, this confrontation can be especially painful because it hurts their carefully built image. It can be very embarrassing for the narcissist if you tell everyone about them and then decide to leave. They put a lot of stock in their ego and the power they have over other people. They feel very low about their own self-worth when you take that power away from them. This kind of thing could mean that you never hear from them again. They may not speak up because they feel ashamed and don't think they deserve to be helped. Because they feel ashamed, they often lurk on your social media and watch your life from afar. They might want to ask you how you're doing, but are too scared to do so. They might sometimes use a technique called hoovering by proxy, in which they ask friends or family to contact you on their behalf. They do this because they are afraid of being turned down if they call you directly. This strategy lets them get a sense of how you feel without putting themselves at risk of being turned down. If you can shame an ego, you've taken away a lot of their power. They might think that if they went back to you, they would need to find someone else to give them something. Someone to boost their ego and help them feel confident again. For them, the thought of having to face you without this help can be scary. If a narcissist isn't hoovering out of shame, it's likely because you did something that made them think twice about how they were acting. Their ego and image are very important to them. And if someone challenges that, it can make them feel weak. You may have shown them what they really were. Or you may have just refused to put up with their manipulative behavior, which made them face their flaws. It is important to know that a narcissist is not necessarily busy with a new supply just because they are not hoovering you. Maybe the shame you've caused them is so strong that they don't think they can come back to you right now. You've made them realize that you won't stand for their disrespect any longer, which can be a strong incentive for them to change. It is important to understand that narcissists often think about what they are going to do, like a chess player thinks about their plays. They picture what might happen if they try to hoover, focused on how it will help them and make them feel in control again. They usually have a more positive attitude because they think they can change things to work in their favor. But if their attempts are ignored, this way of thinking can lead to a major mental breakdown. It can have big effects on the narcissist's mind if you choose to ignore a hoover. They might have a breakdown because they weren't ready for you to turn them down. People who are narcissists often think they can control your feelings and get back into your life at any time. Narcissists are hurt badly when you shut the door on them or don't react. It breaks their expectations and hurts them deeply. These injuries don't just hurt the mind. They can make people feel even more hopeless and inadequate. When the narcissist's attempt to hoover fails, it can make them feel even more weak than they already did. They might even have another source of supply at the time they were hoovering, but it doesn't always meet their needs the way yours did. The new supply can't replace the special emotional bond they had with you, which makes them feel even more lost. Narcissists often get their needs met from a number of different places. This source can come from friends, family, or romantic partners. Each of these relationships helps them feel good about themselves and meet their emotional needs. When they need your unique supply, though they may feel like they are in desperate need, they may reach out to you even if they already have other people who can help them because of this need. It can be a big and powerful moment for you when you decide to shut the door on a narcissist. There is a deep psychological effect on the narcissist that happens when you do this. It gives you a sense of peace. Their worst fears are being rejected and left alone. So when you turn down their approaches, it makes them completely lose it. They need to feel good about themselves, and being turned away from someone they used to control hurts their ego a lot. It's important to know that narcissists often harass others after ignoring your wants and concerns during the relationship. You may remember times when you tried to talk about problems, trying to solve them, and make things better. During those times, they were usually rude and wouldn't listen to your thoughts or feelings. They had no idea that you would get so far along in your healing that you would turn down their attempts to get in touch with you again. You should feel proud of yourself for being strong enough to turn down a hoover. A lot of people, especially empaths, or people who are just starting to understand how their relationships really work, may get caught up in the cycle of manipulation again and again. It can be hard to say no to a narcissist's charm, especially if they act like they are serious. Nevertheless, if you were able to fight that urge, you should be pleased with your strength. When narcissists try to take over, they are very good at using sneaky and smooth methods. Their methods are often sneaky, which makes it hard to figure out what they want right away. Their texts may not be direct pleas to come back. Instead, they may be vague or full of emotional manipulation. One way they might reach out is by making vague comments to memories you both have, or by acting like they care about your well-being. As the narcissist tries to get back in charge of you, these actions can get worse over time and become more complex. It can feel great to turn down these hoovering attempts, And it's also an important part of your healing process. Every time you push back against their advances, you strengthen your limits and take back your power. Rejection can have long-lasting effects on the narcissist and cause a major emotional wound called a narcissistic injury that can cause them to lose their mind. After a loss like that, they need to take some time to heal and think about what happened. Not only do narcissists have to deal with their own problems, they also have to deal with their flying monkeys, which are people like family and friends who support their behavior. The narcissist has to put on a bright face in front of these people after being turned down and try to keep up the appearance that everything is fine. They might have to make up an excuse for your absence while still keeping up the image they worked hard to create. Narcissists are very good at putting on a mask that makes them look confident and normal. Even though they are having a hard time inside, they put on a brave face and act like nothing is wrong. When these things happen, it's important to understand that we are often seen as the problem. The narcissist makes up a story that makes us look like the bad guy for the breakup, calling us toxic or tough. The way they paint this picture is so real that it can fool their family, friends, and even us. This strategy of lies is a key part of how they control people. They told their close friends and family lies about us, so that their reputation would stay clean while ours got worse. Even though this is how things seem, there is often a secret plan at work. In public, they may be ignoring us, but behind the scenes, when they think no one is looking, they may be trying to get our attention and love back. A narcissist can take a lot of damage when they are rejected, and their attempts are ignored. Nevertheless, it can also be a big source of strength for you. Not only does turning down a Hoover show how strong you are, it's also an important step toward recovering your self-worth. Setting clear limits and refusing to be sucked back into their tactics can make you feel very free. When you realize you can set the rules for your interactions, you may feel more in charge and capable. I want to stress how admirable it is to say no to these hoovering attempts. Narcissists don't always make direct requests to get you to return the favor. They often use subtle methods instead. They could use techniques that play on your emotions or that make you feel bad. Take the case of having kids with a narcissist as an example. They might send you gifts that they say are from your child, even though they know that your child is too small to buy them. When the narcissist is first starting to feel devalued, or after a breakup, and starting to see their mistakes, these gifts can be very appealing and powerful. One of my clients saw this happen for real. They sent him thoughtful gifts from their child after the ego put him down. At first, he took these gifts because he thought they were sincere. It took him a while to figure out, though, that this was just an attempt to pull him back in. When he understood what had happened, he felt a lot of different things, including regret for falling for the trick. This situation shows something that many people who have been with narcissists have gone through. During the first few weeks after a split, many attempts to hook up can go unnoticed. The words might not say "I want you back," which is what many of us really want to hear. They show up in more subtle ways, like when someone likes your posts on social media or looks at your picture on dating apps. These indirect actions can lead to confusion and bring up old feelings, which can make it hard to fight the urge to get back together. As an example, the narcissist would sometimes look at my dating app page and even leave comments that seemed to show they were still interested. This kind of action is a classic case of hoovering. They might add a picture that means something like an eye to let you know that they are closely watching you. The goal of these activities is usually to get a response, remind you that they are there, and leave the door open for them to possibly come back into your life. It's important to understand that every time a narcissist tries to dominate you, it means something important. When a narcissist tells you they are thinking about you, think about how long they have been thinking about you before they reach out. It's not like their thoughts about you just pop into your head. They have probably spent a lot of time planning and thinking about how to get your love and attention back. This planning shows how much they want to be in charge and be accepted. When you ignore these attempts to reunite, You send a strong message by slamming the door shut on any chance of getting back in touch. For the narcissist, this act of cutting off contact for good can be very bad. They get a lot of attention and supplies from other people. So not being able to get to you hurts their pride a lot. When you reject them, it can hurt them deeply, and they may find it hard to deal with this mental pain. Understand that they will never be able to find someone else to replace you, no matter how hard they try. You have qualities that are unique and important as an empath. The fact that you bring kindness, understanding, and light into the world makes you different from narcissists and other people who might want to control or influence. This difference is what makes you unique. You are not a narcissist, a psycho, or someone who acts in a harmful way. Instead, you are part of a special group of people who are kind, honest, and truly loving. If you turn down the narcissist's efforts to dominate you, they may lose their mind and have to deal with the consequences of their actions on their own. They might look for other ways to get what they need, but none of them will be as good as their relationship with you. They will understand this in the end, even if it takes a while. You are irreplaceable. You should feel strong if you were able to avoid the narcissist's hoover. It looks like you stood up for yourself and set clear limits. Remember that what they think, or how they try to control you doesn't determine your worth. Thanks for watching the movie today. Thanks for reading. If you liked it, please like, comment, share, and follow to our channel. By taking part, you help us reach more people who could benefit from these talks. Thanks for your help, and I look forward to giving you more information in my next movie. Hello everyone. Glad you could join us again. We're so glad you came to watch another movie. If you like our posts and think they're useful, please like and follow.